Welcome back, music lovers, especially my rock music lovers. And that's right, before I get another comment, I got one a while back. A kind viewer was nice enough to point out that there is no X in especially, but especially is how I say it where I'm from. I apologize. I am not an English student. I'm not a writer, but I do love to talk. I love to tell stories. So from where I'm from to where you're from, thank you and welcome, especially my rock music lovers. Look, the music world is full of amazing stories, awesome stories. Now, hell, life in general is full of great stories. Great people overcoming big obstacles to be great at something, do great things. That's what we all want to do, right? But there's a story today from the rock world that I think is quite amazing. Now, we all know it, but we're going to dissect it a little bit and find out why it's even more amazing than we realize. It's a pretty cool story. Let's get into it right now. Now, in order for me to tell this story correctly, we're going to have to go back a little bit to get a little more clarity of where we're coming from. All right, now, it was in Sheffield, England, 1977. That is when the formation of the band Def Leppard happened. Now, as it stands today, only Joe Elliott and Rick Savage are the two remaining original members from the band. Most people wouldn't know that if you're a casual fan, but that's true. The co-lead guitarist for Def Leppard seems like a pretty awesome dude. In fact, this dude's in great shape for his age. I'm talking about Phil Collen. He joined the band back in 1982 when they were in the studio recording their Pyromania album. Vivian Campbell is the second guitarist for the band Def Leppard. He joined back in 1992 when then guitarist Steve Clark died from what they said to be was a drug and alcohol overdose. Now, without further ado, the man we're here to talk about, Rick Allen. He joined Def Leppard back in 1978 as the drummer and is still the current drummer to this day. A little side note, not only did Rick join the band back in 1978, you want to know something else? If you don't already know it, he was only 15 years old. What were you doing at 15? Me? I was in high school, probably being a little goofy with my friends, doing stupid stuff, not taking the things serious as I should, not taking things as serious as I should have been. You get the idea. But that was probably most of us at that age. But think about it. This guy, 15 years old, got to come on, play drums for a band that would end up being probably one of the hottest bands in the 80s, Def Leppard. Now let's dive into something we already know. 1984 New Year's Eve night. You're about to roll into 1985, a whole new year. We all know that a new year brings possibility. We all have these resolutions and things we want to do. Half the time, probably more than half the time, we don't even do them. But there is that hope that this new year, we can change our fortunes. Unfortunately for Rick, that night, before we rolled into 1985, he was riding around with his girlfriend at the time. They got in a car accident. He lost his left arm. Again, we all know that story. In fact, it's probably one of the greatest rock stories of all time. Now, we're going to dig a little deeper into that, and we're going to figure out why I think it's even more amazing than we realize. So before I dig into a few details of why I think it's such an amazing story, even more than just what it is, we know that Rick lost his arm and he's still drumming for the band today. There's a couple key things that I think make it great. Now, I'm going to put on my motivator hat. I know there's going to be some haters out there in the comment section. To those people, I don't care. It's the ones that listen to this and take something out of it. And I hope there's somebody out there. In fact, I hope I can take something out of it as well because I think it's great. Now listen, let's get into the first key thing that I think is the most important in this story. Now, the number one thing that has to be most important, and it's obvious, the fact that he survived the accident. It was a bad accident. Now, what's the thing we hear most of the time when something bad happens or we, run into misfortune? Sure, somebody's out there telling you, hey, look at the bright side. Whatever the situation is, whatever that bright side is, we don't realize it at the time. And the sooner we do, the better off we are at getting through a bad situation. That silver lining. What was it? We know for Rick, when he woke up in that hospital, I'm sure the first thing he had to be thankful for is he got to survive. So this next thing had to happen. Regardless of any personal effort to get past something, in this case, something else had to happen. His bandmates, his friends, his family, they all had to not give up on him. And they didn't. Now, Joe Elliott, lead singer for Def Leppard, doing an interview with a radio host for a Hawaiian radio station. He was asked about that situation. The radio host said, was there thoughts of firing or getting rid of Rick? And Joe said, plain and simple, no, never. There was never any chance they were going to fire Rick or get rid of him. Now, let's really think about that. It's not my place to say anybody's full of crap or lying. And obviously, we see what we have now, so you can only say he was being honest. But I'm sure it came up. I'm sure there was conversations. If it wasn't the band, then I'm sure it was the other people, the producers, the people that are putting the money out there for the band. I'm sure there was probably talk that, hey, we got to find somebody else. Even if the band wasn't involved, I'm sure those conversations happened. But you know you got good friends and family in your bandmates when they're willing to go to bat for you and say, we're not getting rid of this guy. That is awesome. There was a company called Simmons. They were an electric drum company. They built a kit, specialized, custom kit for Rick Allen as he was on his road to recovery and he was going to still continue drumming. They built it to his specifications for the style he was going to try to do as he continued on that road of trying to figure out how he was going to continue doing what he loved in life. They built that kit, and it was in 1986, just a little over a year after the accident, that he finally got to be back on stage with his bandmates in front of a ruckus crowd in Donington for the Monsters of Rock tour. And not only did they put on a hell of a show, and you can go see it on YouTube, that concert, it was so well received by the audience. They loved it. They were all for the band. They were all for the music. And the heartwarming message behind the fact that he was up there playing the drums made it 10 times more amazing. And here has got to be the most important thing. The most important thing in Rick Allen's journey. Himself, his mindset, his willpower has got to be, is, not got to be, it is the most important thing about this story. There's so many people around the world that, especially war veterans, that lose limbs, and then there's other horrific accidents that happen. People get prosthetics around their legs or for their arms or whatever it is, sometimes just a hand, whatever it is. That takes a lot of strength and willpower to go from having something all your life to having to use something that's manufactured, that's not really part of your body, but learning how to use that, make it your own, make it part of your body. And that's a challenge in its own. Now, Rick's challenge was he had to learn to use this electric drum kit. He's got his arm, he has to use his feet even more. There's some amazing drummers out there, double bass pedals that make it seem like they got 4 or 5 arms. But that's just the talent they develop with the practice over time. And now you got Rick having to learn to do that to stay in the game. And not only did he do it, he did it great. I think that what he did and how he learned to play the drums after that accident is not just a miracle. It's nothing short of spectacular. It's amazing, and this guy has got some guts and hella willpower. So let's just kind of put all this together. Yes, we know the story of Rick Allen. Most people, they don't even really know the band. They might know, oh, that's the band that has that guy with one arm that drums. If that's all they know, you should know right there that that's pretty amazing. You got a drummer with one arm that's in one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Now, again, I'm saying that loosely. They've definitely created a reputation of being one of the greatest bands, especially with their longevity. Does that mean they're top 5, top 10, top 20? I don't know where you want to put them, because in the end, that's just a debate. It's just, what is it? Really, how can you rank it? Is it album sales? Is it, the concerts you've sold out? Is it the amount of fans you... I don't know what it is that can make you number 1 or number 100, but whatever it is, if you're in that conversation of being one of the best, you know you've done something right over your career. And aside from that, they are a great band. They've put out some great music. They've sold tons of records. And you got to give it to the guys in the band, aside from Rick. Those guys are awesome. The fact that they stuck by their guy and they didn't let nobody tell them otherwise. Because I guarantee you there was people in the background saying, we're going to have to move on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. This is just my opinion. But I feel like there had to be some people, some naysayers that were going to say, hey, we're going to have to get a new guy. But they stuck by their guy. And Rick's got to be thankful for that. And then Rick's really got to be thankful for himself. Because if it wasn't for that sheer willpower and that awesome strength inside here, he wouldn't be here today. At least still drumming for the band. So, Def Leppard's still out touring. They're still kicking ass. They're doing amazing. I just can't get over how amazing this story actually is. Think about it. Pertain it to your life. How amazing is this story? What struggles do you have in life? It might not be the loss of a limb. There's got to be something that you feel like is a setback at this moment in your life. Well, kick its ass. Get it out of there. Get it out of the way. Fight through it and tell it it's not going to stop you from succeeding. Whatever it is. Because nothing can stop a human's willpower. I firmly believe that. And Rick had that. Again, guys and gals, this is an awesome story, is it not? If I'm wrong, drop in the comment section. I love the negative comments. They don't bother me one bit. You're free to speak your mind. I love the ones that engage with me and can learn something from this and maybe take it into their life or teach me something. You know, maybe there's something I didn't say that I might be like, wow, you know what? You're right. That's even more helpful than what I was thinking already. But anyway, it doesn't matter, guys. Def Leppard's still rocking. Rick Allen is an amazing human being who got a second chance and didn't waste it. So everybody, what do we do here? This is the American Dream Channel. We dream big like Rick Allen. And thank you for watching. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, have fun, enjoy life, go for something great. I'm out.